Good evening. Jamaica recorded 54 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday. No additional deaths were recorded. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, this takes the total of COVID-19 cases on record for the island to 10,864. The overall death toll from the coronavirus in Jamaica remains at 258. Now, of the newly confirmed cases, 32 are males and 22 are females, ranging in age from 3 to 94 years. The cases were recorded in Westmoreland with 19 cases, St. Anne 11, Kingston and St. Andrew recorded 8 cases, St. Catherine 6, St. James and St. Elizabeth both recorded 3 cases. Hanover recorded 2 cases and Clarendon and St. Thomas recorded 1 case each. There are 17 moderately ill and 10 critically ill patients among the 3,957 active cases now under observation in Jamaica. Meanwhile, recoveries increased by 145 yesterday, taking the total of recoveries to 6,500. Still making news tonight, 2 men were fatally shot during a confrontation with the police at about 4:17 a.m. on St. Joseph's Road, Hunts Bay in St. Andrew today. A firearm was also seized. Commanding officer for the St. Andrew South Police Division, Senior Superintendent of Police Wayne Cameron, in speaking with our news team, explained what happened that resulted in the 2 men being fatally shot and a 3rd man possibly shot and injured.
This morning, whilst the operational support unit was on patrol, we received a call through our police emergency center that armed men were seen breaking into an establishment on Waltham Park Road, and that's in the vicinity of St. Joseph Road. Of course, the police responded promptly, and when they got there, they were met with gunfire. They responded, and following an exchange of gunfire, 2 men were found suffering from gunshot wounds, one clutching a pistol, Taurus pistol. We believe 2 other men escaped, and one of those 2, a 3rd man, may have also been shot and injured. So we are asking residents to be on the lookout for anyone who they suspected might have been a part of this criminal party this morning, to call us. Also, we have put the major hospitals on alert. The 2 men are still not yet identified, but none of the police officers suffered any injuries.
Senior Superintendent Cameron, while speaking with our news team, also revealed the identity of one of the gunmen that was fatally shot and gave a background analysis of the deceased.
So I'm now learning that one of the deceased gunmen has been identified as Nicholas Miles, OC Roy Dredd of a Painland address. And interestingly, Nicholas Miles was detained under the state of public emergency in March this year and was subsequently released, of course, when it came to an end. This is one other thing that we are tracking, the number of persons who we had in the state of emergency, and having been released, those who are either become accused, their names have been called in crimes out there, or become victims of crimes, and in this case, criminal police confrontation. So we are tracking that as well. And so far, I think I have about 60 names on my list of persons who are either victims of crime or accusers of crime, having been released from the state of public emergency.
Senior Superintendent Cameron pointed out that the majority of murders committed in the division were with the use of illegal firearms. Hence, the year-end strategy is to go after illegal firearms.
In this division, where murders are concerned, people use firearms to commit murders in this country, more than in this division, more than 90%. So far this year, of the murders that have been committed in this division, 92% is with the use of the firearm. So what we have done, we are now looking at tweaking our strategy going into this year end. And that is really to go after the illegal firearms. Once we have a report that there is a man anywhere in this division seen with an illegal firearm anywhere, we are going to go for that person. We need to get those firearms. And if more than 90% of murders are committed with the use of firearms in this division, then we have to make a concerted effort to find the illegal firearms. Last week alone in this division, we seized 5 illegal firearms, including 2 AK-47 rifles. So it goes to show that the illegal guns are here. On a nightly basis, I can tell you that many times there are reports of explosions all over this division. We find ourselves chasing criminals from time to time. So, as I've mentioned, we are tweaking the strategy. We are now going after the guns, the illegal guns. And wherever the report is made that John Brown has an illegal firearm, we are going to find John Brown.
The matter was reported to the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau, IPROB, and the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM. Still making Mello TV news, 5 members of the Uchenz-Wilson gang, including the gang's alleged leader, were sentenced for their involvement in organized criminal activities. The sentencing is now taking place in the Home Circuit Court and is being presided over by Chief Justice Brian Sykes. Those sentenced so far are alleged gang leader Uchenz-Wilson, who has been sentenced to 26 years in prison. Wilson was convicted on 10 of the 34 charges. Odine Smith was sentenced to 4 years, Lansworth Geohagan to 6 years, Daron Taylor to 8 years, and 24-year-old Michael Lamont to 16 years. The remaining members are awaiting sentencing. All 9 accused appeared before the court today. We will bring you more on this story in subsequent newscasts. Still tonight, during a press conference held by the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF today, Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson broke down the crime figures as of November 30.
The crime statistics, which are updated weekly on our website, are there available, but as at November the 30th, in the area of murder, we are 25 or 2% below last year. In terms of shootings, we are 16, or shooting incidents, we are 16 up from last year. That's a 1.4% increase. On rape, we are down 79 cases, or 15.5%. For robbery, we are down 199 cases, or 17.7%. And for break-ins, we're down 208, or 18%. Now, these reductions, especially those ones that relate to violent crimes, don't provide much comfort for us, because although they are statistics for us, these numbers represent persons' lives and lives that are being damaged or lost, and families left devastated by these crimes.
Major General Anderson also highlighted an uptick in gang-related violence.
In recent weeks, there's been an uptick in violence. From our analysis, these fall in 3 main categories. I'll just briefly speak about them. And the first one is we're seeing an uptick in inter- and intra-gang killings and shootings. Especially since, as our gang strategy reaps success, we find that gangs, as we incarcerate gang leaders and numbers of members of gangs, the new people fight each other to get dominance of the gang, and this has led to a few killings, especially of gang members. With gangland shootings, though, they're unconcerned about bystanders, and sometimes other people get pulled in. we've also seen where these gangland killings and reprisals have extended beyond the actual gang members to members of their families in some cases who get brought into it because of the activities of one member of the family.
The police commissioner further announced that there will be an increase in the police targeting gang operations.
Now, each division has a proactive investigation unit that targets gangs, while the CTOC anti-gang unit focuses on gangs that are larger and require more specialist targeting. Additionally, a number of joint operations that have led to the capture of gang members and the recovery of weapons have been conducted by Specialized Operations Branch, along with CTOC and the JDF. Over this period, we'll be increasing these targeted operations and covering the spaces and routes that these gangsters use. Some of these activities may cause some inconvenience to the public, as vehicular checkpoints and people checkpoints may create some delay.
Major General Anderson also expressed that the public can assist the police by reporting any illegal activities or events.
You can report anything that I've been speaking about that comes to your notice to, of course, our emergency number 119, or call Crime Stop at 311 if you know anything about guns, about gangs, about criminals, or just, you want to assist us by letting us know where something is happening. You have, as I say, 119. You have Crime Stop at 311. If you're observing any public order or traffic breaches, we still have the PSTEB tip line, and that number is 876-591-5671. You can also report if you see anything that involves our own members. You can also report those on the iProbe tip line, and that is 876-838-3084. And we will put these numbers up on our website.
Stay tuned for the full rebroadcast of the JCF's press conference immediately after this newscast. In other news tonight, Minister of Finance Dr. Nigel Clarke has reported that the government is taking steps to extend its annual drawdown of $11.4 billion from the National Housing Trust by up to 5 years to 2025 to assist with the recovery from the economic fallout caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the finance minister made the announcement while tabling the NHT amendment bill and 2 companion bills in the House of Representatives yesterday. Dr. Clarke further stated that the government is being proactive in seeking to extend the measure as the economic fallout from COVID-19 is expected to be in the region of 10% of gross domestic product this year, which is the steepest in the country's history. He further stated that despite the fallout, buffers put in place by the administration, including increased capitalization of the Bank of Jamaica and increased reserves, have allowed Jamaica to weather the storm fairly well, while adding that the country has performed fairly well over the first 7 months of the fiscal year. In the meantime, opposition spokesman on finance Mark Golding has brushed aside the assurance of the finance minister that the annual drawdown of the $14.4 billion from the National Housing Trust to boost the national budget will not significantly impact housing in Jamaica, particularly affordable housing. He said Dr. Clarke's announcement of the extension of the measure up to 2025 to assist with the economic recovery from the COVID-19 fallout was senseless, and that the extension by 5 years will only mean 13 straight years of the extraction of significant sums from a state entity tasked with providing housing solutions to contributors, many of whom never received such a benefit. The opposition finance minister says it does not make sense to say that taking $57 billion out of the National Housing Trust over the next 5 fiscal years is not going to impact the Trust's ability to plan with the private sector to deliver affordable housing at a greater rate than it will be doing as a result of those resources not being available to it. He said the measure was first introduced by the Portia Simpson Miller-led administration in 2013 in order to assist Jamaicans to get through a very heavy fiscal burden that was required by the IMF of a primary surplus target of 7.5% of GDP. Still making news tonight, the National Water Commission is warning that a massive disconnection drive is now in effect by the NWC to collect outstanding payments from customers who have arrears with the utility company. The NWC further stated they had made offers to delinquent customers earlier this year to settle their arrears under the COVID-19 Assistance Program, CAP. Corporate Communications Manager at the NWC, Andrew Cannon, says that the NWC had also taken the decision not to disconnect water supply during the initial period of the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, prudent business practices now dictate that the NWC ensures that delinquent customers who refuse to settle their debt come forward and honor their obligations.
The National Water Commission is now facing a substantial energy bill. That huge energy bill is now threatening the very viability of the NWC. In order for us to systematically address this bill, one of the things we need to do is to have our customers pay their bills because it really costs to produce the water. We are now at a point where the NWC has no choice but to aggressively go after those customers who are grossly irresponsible in meeting their obligations. We're not oblivious to the fact that these are challenging times, but in the same way where funds are allocated for parties or hairstyles or nails or phone cards, we are saying to customers, please put aside some funds to pay your water bill. If you are having a challenge, come in and let us work out a payment plan. But to totally disregard the bill, that is not an option. What we have noticed is that when we had the discount under the COVID assistance program CAP, there was not a high take-up of the offer. And those who did take up the offer were the customers who would ordinarily meet their obligations but could not do so because of the economic challenges associated with COVID-19. Now we know that these are challenging times, but we want persons to really at least make a start in the paying of the bills. We also know that it is Christmas, and we don't want to disconnect during Christmas, but the same way how customers need the water to enjoy the festivities, we need them to pay their bills so that we can have the money to provide the service for them to enjoy the festivities.
Customers are being reminded to monitor their consumption patterns, especially during the Christmas period, and not to waste water, and are also further reminded to constantly check for leaks, as these are sometimes the major cause of exorbitant bills. In news from the capital, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, now has a more integrated and interactive web portal with the launch of their new website yesterday in collaboration with the Vocational Training Institute, VTDI. The website can be accessed at www.ksamc.gov.jm. The website's design and hosting arrangements were successfully completed by VTDI students free of charge. His Worship, the Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, expressed sheer pride and content at the quality of work and interest placed by the VTDI students who have worked tirelessly for the realization of this vision.
The website came out of the idea to reposition Kingston as a destination city. And as a result, we realized that our current website needed overhauling, not just to make a few changes, but to revamp the website. in order to posture Kingston in this new direction of becoming a destination city. In our words, the pearl of the Antilles and the light of the Caribbean Sea. A bold vision at the municipality and requires bold steps to pursue such a vision. So at that time, we engaged the VTDI and the students here. And luckily for us, they responded positively. And ever since, they have worked on the website. And that the website was expanding beyond what it was originally to be. But they responded positively. They were very mature.
Likewise, Mayor Williams says that the KSAMC's vision of becoming a destination city mandates that their digital presence gives a true reflection of the city of Kingston, which he believes that the VTDI students and staff captured in the development of the website.
We believe that the creative industry is fundamental to the economic growth and development of the city of Kingston, which means that institutions like the VTDI ought to be encouraged or ought to be resourced so that they can continue to produce students with the necessary skill set that will enhance the economic life of the city. So we take this opportunity to commend the leadership of the VTDI for the role that you have played in the lives of the students who come here, but also in the economic life of the city and indeed the country. We also would like to say that the concept of the destination city is evident in the website. It was deliberate to integrate the history and the culture and our people within the website.
And those are the stories making news. I am Shelley Ann Hill. We will now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.